On June 11th, 2026, the sky above central Illinois turned a sickly green, and within minutes, everything beneath it was gone. Over the next 6 hours, at least 10 tornadoes dropped across Illinois and Indiana, leaving a trail of collapsed homes, ruptured gas lines, and families standing in open fields where their houses used to be. A man was pulled from rubble with nothing left standing around him. Emergency crews scrambled across 2 states simultaneously. And it all started with a single radar signal that forecasters had never wanted to see. This is what happened, community by community, from the first warning to the last all clear. At approximately 5 o'clock in the afternoon, trained weather spotters on the ground near Washburn, a small community in Marshall County roughly 7 miles east of Chillicothe, confirmed what forecasters had feared for hours. A large and extremely dangerous tornado had touched down and was moving fast. But it was what appeared on the radar screen at the National Weather Service office in Lincoln, Illinois, that immediately escalated the situation to a different level entirely. Forecasters detected a debris ball signature, a distinct radar return caused not by rain or hail but by actual physical debris being lofted high into the atmosphere, shredded rooftops, splintered timber, sheet metal. The tornado was not merely rotating above the ground, it was actively consuming structures and launching the fragments skyward. When a debris ball appears on radar, meteorologists no longer need spotters to confirm a tornado exists. The destruction is already happening. The tornado tracked northeast at 45 miles per hour, fast enough to outrun a person on foot, but slow enough to spend extended time grinding through every mile of ground beneath it. In response, the National Weather Service issued a tornado emergency for the area, the rarest, most severe warning category in existence, deployed only when catastrophic loss of life is considered imminent or already occurring. The towns of La Rose, Toluca, and Winona were directly in the crosshairs. Communities including Varna and Winona received the same message through every available channel. Get underground, get there now, and do not come back up until you are told it is safe. The emergency designation stayed active for nearly an hour, and while it remained in place, the rest of the storm system was already spinning up across the region. This was only the beginning. While the Washburn tornado continued grinding northeast, something far more alarming was developing simultaneously across a wide corridor of north-central Illinois. Supercells were igniting back-to-back, each capable of producing its own tornado, and by late Thursday evening, the report count inside Illinois alone had surpassed 10 confirmed or probable touchdowns. The communities absorbing the blows were small: Ransom, Low Point, Winona, Roanoke. These are places defined by grain elevators, family-owned farmsteads, and narrow county roads cutting straight lines through perfectly flat terrain. And that geography is critical to understanding what happens when a tornado arrives here. There are no hills to deflect the wind, no dense urban cores to create drag, no natural features of any kind to rob the storm of momentum before it reaches someone's front door. In flat rural Illinois, a tornado hits at full power and stays at full power from the moment it touches down to the moment it lifts. A second confirmed tornado was tracked near Ipava and Lewistown. Spotters described it as a roping tornado, a funnel that had begun to narrow and twist into a thin cord-like shape, which typically signals the storm is starting to lose its connection to the parent supercell. It sounds less threatening. It is not. A roping tornado retains enough rotational velocity to tear roofs from structures, collapse walls, and throw vehicles across fields. The term describes appearance, not danger level. Across these rural communities, residents had minutes, sometimes less, from the moment their phones screamed an emergency alert to the moment the wind arrived. Some made it to basements. Some did not have basements to reach. Of every community struck during the outbreak, none received more concentrated devastation than Streator, a city of roughly 12,000 people located approximately 80 miles southwest of Chicago. What happened in Streator put a human face on a storm system that had, until that point, existed largely as radar signatures and warning polygons. 3 separate tornado reports were filed for locations in or immediately around the city during the event. The destruction was not gradual, it was immediate, visible, and total in the areas directly struck. A man was pulled from a home that had suffered complete structural collapse. Not roof damage, not broken windows, not a wall blown in. The entire structure had failed and come down around him. Police officers and neighbors worked together in real time, on camera, to dig him out. Several additional homes throughout Streator sustained damage so severe they were rendered structurally uninhabitable within seconds of the tornado passing. By nightfall, a family reunification center had been established at Streator City Hall, a designated space for displaced residents to shelter, and for families separated in the chaos to find one another. Emergency crews worked simultaneously across affected neighborhoods, managing downed live power lines and active gas leaks in the dark. Both hazards demanded immediate attention. Either one, left unaddressed, could spark a secondary disaster on top of an already devastating scene. Eyewitness footage showed streets covered in debris, tree limbs, insulation, fragments of rooftops scattered across roads that had been completely clear hours earlier. The tornado had moved through quickly. The damage it left behind would take weeks to fully assess and months to begin repairing. When a major storm system exits one state and enters another, the reasonable expectation is that it weakens over time. The June 11th outbreak rejected that expectation entirely. As the storm complex pushed northeast into Indiana after 7 o'clock in the evening, it did not slow down, it intensified. A tornado was confirmed on the ground in the Merrillville and Hobart area of Lake County, one of the most densely populated suburban corridors in the entire Midwest, forming the southern outer ring of the greater Chicago metropolitan area. At 7:35 p.m., a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was tracked moving directly through Hobart at 30 miles per hour. The projected forward path placed Merrillville, Schererville, Crown Point, Griffith, Dyer, and St. John all within minutes of a direct strike. Every phone in those communities erupted simultaneously with emergency alerts. Tens of thousands of people had minutes to get underground. In Hebron, located in Porter County, multiple homes were damaged and destroyed as the same tornadic supercell swept through. A separate confirmed tornado was tracked near Wanata at approximately 7:20 p.m., moving east at 35 miles per hour. Porter County, stretching from the Indiana Dunes along Lake Michigan southward through open farmland, recorded significant tornado activity across multiple communities as the system moved through. The storm did not recognize state lines, county borders, or population density. It simply continued northeast, dropping tornadoes as it went, until the atmosphere finally ran out of fuel to sustain it. By the time the last warning was lifted, the outbreak had carved a damage path spanning 2 states, multiple counties, and hundreds of individual structures. Preliminary estimates pointed to dozens of homes destroyed or rendered uninhabitable, thousands of residents without power, and entire neighborhoods that would require weeks of cleanup before they resembled anything close to normal. 6 hours, 2 states, at least 10 confirmed tornadoes, dozens of homes collapsed or destroyed, thousands without power, families displaced, neighborhoods unrecognizable, and communities now beginning the long, exhausting process of rebuilding from the ground up. The June 11th outbreak is a reminder that no warning system, no matter how advanced, eliminates the danger. It only compresses the window between knowing and acting. When the sirens activate and the alerts hit your phone, every second spent deciding is a second you cannot get back. Get underground. Stay underground. The storm will not wait for you to be ready.